I've got brake discs, 2 brake discs, and a track rod end. Because when I've done my wheel bearing, I ruined the track rod end now. But I need two rear discs on the van. Also, I need a new gearbox, but I ain't got that yet. That's gonna have to be another day. But hopefully, I put the new pads on. That didn't fix the problem. I know I need new discs anyway. I was hoping to long it out a bit longer and do that another day. I like to try and long parts out until they really break. But then I've also got the whole handbrake cable. It comes in like millions of parts. There's 4 different parts of it. You've got the front, you've got the middle bit, then you've got the 2 back bits for either side, left and right. So, a bit tired. So I've got the whole cable, I've got the discs, I've already put the pads in. Like I said, I knew one disc was warped anyway, but I wanted to try and get away with it, but it ain't gonna work, so got to put the new discs on. And yeah, that's a job for this morning. So the last time I drove this, the fuel line come off, split, and developed a misfire obviously, and then I had to bodge it up in order to get it home. Still got a misfire though, so it'll usually start up on 1 or 2 cylinders, and then the 3rd one will kick in, but the 4th one will never kick in. So it's I've got to move it though to get the van down, so let's have a look and see what happens, shall we? Let's piss off a few neighbours. So, for those of you that don't know what I was talking about, the other side is warped, but this one, these discs are quite old. Now, I knew I needed pads anyway. Usually, it's good practice to change the discs and the pads at the same time. But I like to try and, you know, I'm a bit tight, so I don't change things unless I really have to. And I looked at these and I thought I might be able to get away with it. But I don't know whether you can see, there's a bit of a lip. There's a bit of a lip on there. Holy moly, look at that. Can you see that track rod? Oh dear. If you want to know what happens when you do some work on a car or whatever and you're a bit tired, this is what happens. See if you can spot what's actually wrong with this brake pad. Some of you lot would have spotted it already by now. No? What about if I turn it over? Yep. There we go. When I changed these pads, I was extremely tired and I had to do it. And I put one of them on ran the wrong way. So that's how it was. As soon as I drove it for the first time, I was like, why is it making this noise? Scraping. So I took it apart again to find out what the problem was, and there it was. I put the pad on round the wrong way, so that bit was on the disc. It didn't damage the disc too much, but it ain't ideal, but there you go. That was on the other side. Funnily enough, I was going to change the discs anyway, but I didn't realise that these discs actually have the bearings in them as well. You see, I didn't realise that, and these were £70 each to buy two, obviously, because there's two on the back, two rear discs, and they're 70 quid each. And I'm thinking, oh man, it's a bit expensive, but I've got to pay it. I need them, so I've got to pay it. But I didn't realise until I didn't even look at the new ones when I got them. I just took the old one off on the other side. You saw that in the beginning of this video, and it has a bearing in it. And I was like, what's going on here then? So it's not too bad paying 70 quid for a new disc, because you get in a disc and you get in a bearing as well. So it means I ain't got to change the bearings, I know they're done. And it's probably good actually, because if you look at that, the grease is starting to come out of that bearing now, and it was the same for the other one. And once the grease starts to come out, that's when the bearing, it will fail shortly after that. So probably quite handy that I did get to I am doing that. But you know, there you go. The caliper's seized on the other one, so I've got to unseize that at some point. New track rod end is on. I had to use a little bit of the old wax because it was the locking nut. There's a locking nut in there that was pretty stiff, but I managed to get it off with a bit of heat and a bit of wax. And this is the old one, completely mashed up. No wonder it was all loose. That thread has had it. That's why the nut was loose and it would come off. Lucky really, because if that had come off, I wouldn't have had any steering on that wheel. There's my old handbrake cable. I've got a handbrake now. I haven't had any brakes. I've only had brakes on the front right hand side for about a year. I hadn't had any brakes on the back or the front left, and had no handbrake for about a year either. So that's the old handbrake cable. And there's one of the old discs that was completely mashed up along with the other one.
Little girls, little girls.
So the only thing left to do is to tidy up. Brought all the tools in, as what always happens. You know, you bring all the tools in and you just put them on a pile on the floor and then you sort them out after that. That's what I do anyway. You know. So that's all I've got to do. It's been a funny old, you know, bit of a funny old time. I've had a lot of stuff to do. I've done loads of stuff. I still need to take the gearbox out of the van, because it needs a new gearbox. The gearbox is out here. Those vans are prone, the 6-speed gearboxes are prone to having all the random stuff or breaking them. So yeah, so I've got all my tools here. So I'll tell you, for those of you lot that won't believe me, having a candle in amongst your tools is, well, it's just, you know, a very good idea. You need a candle and you need some kind of blowtorch, some kind of heat, because, you know, I had to use that method to get that axle nut off that I did the video on. The other ones are alright, I didn't need to use the heat. That particular one was a bad one. But then I also had to use a bit of heat and the candle to get that track rod end off, because that it just wouldn't come off, and you run a danger of, you know, not stripping, but you damage the other part of it if you mess around too much. So I just heated it up, stuck a bit of candle wax on it, and away it came. We were hunky-dory. If anyone's interested, I've had all these lead brake pads. In here we have discs, grooved and vented, bent and grooved, whatever you want to call them, discs, and I've got 4 of them, front and back, and all the pads to go on a Discovery. It's going to be going on in the next, hopefully next weekend I'll get around to doing that, because I've got to give it a whole service. In that box below, that one there, is all the filters and oil and everything for the service. And then I've got all the discs to go on and pads, and then in the post on the way should be, well, I hope there will be some a pair of airbags to go on the back, because the airbags that I've got on it, the suspension, they've had it, they keep leaking, and they're recommended to be changed every 5 years. I've had that car about 6 years and I've never changed them, so I don't know whether they were changed before I bought it, but you know, every now and again they keep going down. So there's going to be quite a big job going on. I've got some pads going on there, I've got the discs going on, 4 of them, front and back. They're grooved and vented, so they're you know, they're not shitty ones, they're better. I always go for better parts. And then we're going to do the whole big old service, the whole lot, filters and oils and everything you can think about. So, you know, if it's your kind of thing, stay tuned for that, because that'll be interesting. Well, won't be interesting, but hey, it'll be something to watch. Right, I promised I would do the competition and the giveaway, so I'm going to have to do it now. I wanted to do a bit of a better one, but I just can't. I don't have the time or the means to post internationally right now. So if you want to win this, it's not a good one, it's a nice little one. I've got one in each vehicle, etc. They're very good. So if you want to win that, all you got to do is just send a letter. It doesn't have to have anything in it. Send it to the P.O Box. Send a letter. You know, whatever you want to put in it, and just say you want to enter the competition. And what I'm going to do is, on the 1st of November 2017 is going to be the deadline date. The 1st of November 2017, alright? That's going to be the deadline date. And then what I'm going to do, all the entries I've had, because they're going to be on a letter, and you've got to make sure you put your name, obviously. You ain't got to put your address, just put your name and somewhere I can contact you, and then, you know, you can give me your address to post it to later on after you've won. So just put your name, and I'm going to fold them all up, literally put them in a hat and pick out a winner. So that's what I'll do for that. So, but when I do the next competition to give away a minimoto, you know, I'll do that one properly. But yeah, sweet.
Little girl.